Good evening, Rampage family. Welcome back to another night of hockey here in Monument, Colorado. Tonight's matchup, it's the game one of a four-game weekend. And tonight's lineup is against the Wasatch Renegades. We have not seen this team yet this season, and I have absolutely zero scouting information on them. So I will just say we expect to see some hockey tonight. I'm fairly confident that that's true and accurate. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to watch on this Thursday night. Hopefully the boys are ready to go and have a good, strong weekend lined up this weekend as they get ready to go into Detroit. Looking ahead to next weekend's lineup, those games in Detroit are going to be pretty tough. Really, really tough teams we're playing against. As far as this weekend goes, I think we've got some good competition this weekend as well, but I don't know as much about the teams that we're playing against this weekend. And just saw my best broadcast buddy from years past walk in. For those of you who have been watching for years now, the professor himself, Dan Paulsgrove, just showed up. One of my bestest longtime hockey friends and absolutely the best broadcast buddy that I ever had. And it makes me incredibly sad that we don't get to team up on these anymore. So that's all I have to say about that. Just about 15 seconds left in the warm-up period, and we'll get ready to start with period number one. I did hear, I believe, Gavin Dormer is suited back up, so he will be back in the game tonight. That's great to hear. Great to see. We miss you, Gavin, and super excited to have you back in the lineup. So as far as I know, I'm not aware of anyone who's out for injury tonight, or otherwise for that matter. But I do believe we've got a full complement of players, which is kind of nice, to be honest. And like I said, hopefully they're fired up, ready to go. Here in our home rink, as you guys may or may not have seen, I don't know if you can see the scoreboard. Yeah, you can a little bit in the camera angle, but the scoreboard gets a little wacky. It just blanks out from time to time, and that has been the case the last few games we've been in here. So hopefully they'll keep it going okay through the game tonight. All right, the boys are warmed up, pepped up, fired up, ready to go. I think based on what I'm seeing right now, I believe we're going to get a chance to see Liam Holmes in net tonight. That seems to be the case. It is indeed out on the ice to get us started for period number one. It would appear that we've got Dormer, Freitas, Whittingham, Butler, and White, with Mr. Liam Holmes in net. We do have four officials, 2 linesmen and 2 referees. I'm not recognizing any of these offhand, so we'll see. Hopefully they will be good tonight. As we all know, we have a tendency to have relatively rough officiating at home, and everywhere else for that matter. All right, here we go. Getting ready to get started. Period number one. Wasatch comes up with the puck, dump it into the Rampage zone back behind the net. Butler gets back there, sends it up the far side. Puck comes back, and then gets poked out to the far wall. Wasatch sends it deep, ends up in the near side corner and up the near wall. Stuck on the wall on the near side. Dormer, Whittingham, and Butler are in there. Whittingham skates off the wall. He's going to send it over to Freitas. Freitas is into the zone, makes a quick move, goes down low. Whittingham sends it towards the goaltender, makes a save. Secondary shot. Goaltender makes a save. Fewer comes in with a shot. Puck deflects up into the netting and out of play. So we get a stoppage. 16:24 left in period number 1. Face off in the Wasatch zone. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Banyan, Whitted, Bennett, and Bisley. Tied up down low. It ends up in the corner on the near side. Puck comes up the wall. Wasatch is going to turn with it. They clear the zone through neutral and dump it into the Rampage zone on the near side. Over to the far side, Wasatch with the puck still. They're going to skate it up top, turn and fire it in the near side corner. Puck gets tied up down low in no man's land where I can't see it and don't know what's going on. Puck comes up out front, shot, and Holmes turns it aside. Whitted's going to clear the puck out to neutral. Wasatch has it. They're going to turn around with it on the near side back into the Rampage zone. Sarver picks it up. He's going to turn, and the puck goes towards Holmes, and I believe he had to make a save as Sarver was trying to turn. Puck comes in. Holmes has it in his glove. He's going to hang on. He didn't like that at all. So we'll get a face-off in the Rampage zone. 15:36 left in period number 1. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Flanagan, Espirito, Fewer, and Judkins. Puck goes to the far wall. Flanagan's going to turn with it. He skates it out, sends it across. Wasatch turns it back around. Espirito back into his own zone with it. Sends it up the wall for Sarver. Sarver pulls it off the wall, sends it across. Fewer wrangles it in, sends it up to Flanagan at neutral ice. Puck into the zone, and Rampage are offside. 15:15 left in period number 1. Face-off will be just outside the Wasatch zone. On the ice, we have Rahojian, Foster, Roberts, Butler, and White. Puck comes back to Rampage. White's going to skate it in on the far side. He sends a shot. Goaltender makes a save. He's going to cover it up. So we get a stoppage. We'll face off inside the Wasatch zone. 15:09 left in period number 1. Same crew out as before. Tied up on the draw. It ends up down low behind the Wasatch net. Roberts is in there hunting. Puck on the far wall now. It's stuck on the wall, and Rahojian comes up, takes a shot, deflects way up in the air, ends up in the far corner. Foster takes a check to the face and ends up in the corner. Puck comes up and out. Butler's going to send it in, but Rampage have to tag up, and it goes into the netting and out of play anyway. Faceoff was going to come outside the zone. 14:47 left in period number 1. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Dormer, Freitas, Bisley, and Bennett. Puck ends up in the Wasatch zone. Sent back out to neutral. Wasatch skates it into the Rampage zone on the far side. Puck down low back behind the Rampage net. Tied up in the corner. Puck comes up to the point. Cross to the near side. Shot. Body's in the way. And Bennett's going to skate it right out of the zone. Takes the red line. Chips it in. He's going to give chase. He's got Freitas in there as well back behind the net. Puck ends up in the far corner. All tied up. Comes off the wall. Dormer pulls it down low. Feeds it out front for Freitas. Just can't quite get much on it. And then another shot attempt. And now the puck gets cleared out back into the Rampage zone. Espirito has to rush to get there first. Puck down low in the corner. Up the wall. Whittingham sends it up and out of the zone. Wasatch has to tag up. They send it hard into the Rampage zone on the far side. Holmes leaves it for Bisley. Bisley skates to the near side. Sends it off the wall for Drexel. Whitted picks it up. He's into the zone. Whitted skates in and just takes a top corner shot all by himself. 13:40 left in period number 1. Rampage go by a score of 1-0. The goal to Boone Whitted. He had Drexel with him, and he looked it off and took a shot. Out on the ice, Drexel, Whitted, Banyan, Espirito, and Fewer. Wasatch wins the draw, sends it to the near side, dump it into the Rampage zone. It's going to go down low, back behind the net. Fewer sends it up the wall on the near side. Drexel gets there. He's going to chip it, and Banyan picks it up. Banyan's into the zone, feeds it over, looking for Drexel, just doesn't quite connect. Puck things up in the far corner. Down low, gets tied up right near the referee, and now it's going to come up the wall on the near side. Judkins holds it in the zone. Drexel chips it across to the far side. Butler sends it down low, and Judkins is in on the forecheck back behind the Wasatch net. Puck comes out front. Butler's going to poke it back into the corner. Wasatch picks it up in the corner. They're going to turn, send it up and out to neutral ice, and White sends it back the other way. Flanagan picks it up, sends it over for Butler. Butler sends it in. Flanagan takes a shot, goes wide up and over. Puck back behind the net. White's going to get there. Sends it back looking for Sarber. Sarber picks it up behind the net, tries to feed it out front, and that one's going to go on the net. Tommy Flanagan fed from Johnny Sarber. So with 12:35 left in period number one, Rampage are going to go up by a score of 2-0 on the goal to Tommy Flanagan. That likes me a nice Irish goal by a nice Irish lad. That's my best Irish accent. Apologies to everybody who actually is Irish. 12:35 left in period number one. Wasatch picks up the puck. Say send it in on net. Holmes is going to drop it for Bennett. Bennett turns back behind his own net. Sends it up the wall on the far side. Chipped up and out of the zone. Rahojan's going to pick it up. He skates through. He's into the zone on the far side. Tries to send a shot and goes off a boot and ends up down low. Puck goes up the far wall. Roberts ties things up, keeps it in the zone, and it comes up to Rahojan. Rahojan turns, fires, sends it over the net. Foster gets in there, digging at the puck. Traffic down low in the corner. And now puck comes up and out. Bennett has to come over and pick it up. Sends it up and out of the zone. Wasatch picks it up. They tag up, and now they're into the Rampage zone on the near side. Bennett gets there, sends it up the wall on the far side. Comes back down. Foster picks it up. He clears the zone with it off of Rahojan's stick, and they're going to go for a change. Wasatch picks it up. They're going to turn around, take the red line, and send it in on net. Holmes is going to drop it again for Bennett. Bennett sends it up the far side wall. Freitas to Whittingham. Whittingham's coming through with a little bit of speed. Kicks it out to Dormer on the near side. Dormer turns the blue line, sauces it across for Fewer. The puck comes out front, and Wasatch is going to pick it up and clear it. Espirito wrangles it in, sends it over for Dormer. Dormer up for Fewer, and then the puck trickles into the Wasatch zone, and they have the puck back. Gets sent back to the far side wall. Comes back to Fewer. He's going to send it off the wall into the Wasatch zone, and we get a whistle for icing. Exactly 11 minutes left in period number one. Face-off will be back in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Espirito, Drexel, Whitted, Banyan, Butler. I'm sorry, Espirito's going off. So we've got Butler and White with Drexel, Banyan, and Whitted. That's it. Tied up on the draw. Wasatch gets there, sends it down low into the zone. Butler sends it up the wall for Banyan. Banyan chips it. I thought he cleared the zone, but actually it didn't get sent back in. Into the Wasatch zone. Banyan centers it, and Whitted gets pulled down into the Wasatch goaltender. And puck ends up on the far wall, comes up and out of the zone. Wasatch picks it up in their own zone. They send it to the near side. It comes through. Butler's going to have to come back for it. I thought they were going to let play continue, but we get a whistle for icing. Face-off will be in the Wasatch zone with 10:29 left in period number one. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Judkins, Sarber, Bisley, and Bennett. Sarber to take the draw. Tied up, down low. Judkins gets in there. Things are tied up in the corner. And now Wasatch sends it up and out to the far side. They're into the Rampage zone. Bennett ties things up, takes the puck away, sends it up the far wall. Wasatch holds, pinching in. Now Bennett's going to pick it up. He sends it up and out, looking for Flanagan. Didn't connect, and I think, they're letting play continue. I thought we were going to get an icing on that one for sure. Sarber centers the puck, And looks like Wasatch has it. They're going to skate out of the zone through neutral into the Rampage zone. Shot taken, goes wide of the net, comes to the near side, bounces around, and Holmes is going to cover it up. So with 9:51 left in period number 1, we'll get a stoppage and a face-off in the Rampage zone. Change of cast and crew. We got Fewer, Espirito, Rahosian, Roberts, and Foster. Tied up on the draw, stays in the zone. Wasatch makes a quick move, centering the pass. Holmes has to make a save. He's going to cover it up. That was a nice reactionary save there by Liam Holmes on the redirect. So we'll get another face-off in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Dormer, and Freitas to join Fewer and Espirito. Tied up on the draw. It ends up in the near side wall. Back behind the Rampage net now. Sent up the near side wall. Unable to clear. Wasatch sends it in down low. They're going to get there back behind the net. Whittingham with a takeaway. Feeds it up looking for Dormer. And it comes up and out and ends up in the Wasatch zone. Wasatch turns with it. Sends it out. Dormer picks it up. Waits for everybody to tag up. And now he's going to make a move into the zone on the near side. He skates down into the corner and then back behind the Wasatch net. Lost the handle on the puck. Wasatch takes it to the near side wall. They're up and out of the zone. Send it across to the far side. Quick move made, and Wasatch is offside. 8 minutes and 56 seconds left in period number 1. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Rahosian, Foster, Butler, and White. Wasatch wins the draw. They're going to skate to the near side, dump it into the Rampage zone, puck back behind the net. Butler's going to get there, feeds it to White. White skates to the far side. Gets tied up, and on the backhand, Wasatch sends the puck down low. Puck up the wall, and then Roberts is going to turn and clear it. And if it's got enough, and it does, we'll get a whistle for icing. The faceoff will be back in the Rampage zone with 8 minutes and 33 seconds left in period number 1. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Banyan, Whitted, Butler, and White. Rampage win the draw. Over to the near side. Butler's going to get there. Sends it up the wall. Drexel's going to clear it up and out. Drexel with a takeaway at neutral ice, and then a little back and forth. Drexel's going to send it in hard, just wide of the net. It's going to the far wall. Wasatch gets there first and clears it up and out of the zone. Then it wrangles it in at neutral ice, up to Whitted. He poke checks it into the zone. Drexel gets a stick on it. He's into the zone. Sends it over to Banyan. Banyan for Bisley. Bisley takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Puck ends up down low. Comes back up to Bisley on the wall. He's going to dump it back behind the net. It's going to go to the far side. Whitted tries to get there. Wasatch clears it out, and now they're going to dump it into the Rampage zone. And I think they must have just been just a hair on the other side of the red line. So we get a whistle for icing. 7:49 left in period number 1. Out on the ice, we've got Bisley, Bennett, Sarver, Judkins, and Flanagan. Tied up on the draw. Wasatch sends it down low into the corner. Flanagan gets in there, ties things up. Sarver sends it up the wall on the far side. Wasatch clears it out. It comes out to Bennett. Bennett's going to turn, blows a tire, and now Wasatch gets there back behind the Rampage net. But centered out front, Bennett gets a stick on it, and now another shot. Doesn't make it through. Bennett clears it to the far side, looking for Flanagan. It's bouncing around at neutral ice. Flanagan wrangles it in. He's going to dump it into the Wasatch zone. Wasatch sends it hard up the near side wall. off the wall. Whittingham gets a stick on it. And now the puck comes back out to neutral ice. Little back and forth. Dormer's got it on his stick. He forces it into Wasatch zone. Puck rims around to the far side. Espirito holds it on the wall, pinching in. He's going to drive it down low into the corner. Dormer tries to get there. Freitas comes in to help out. He sends it hard up the wall for Espirito. Espirito back down, looking for Freitas. Puck bounces around to the near side. Battle for the puck down low in the near side corner. Looks like it's going to come up and out of the zone, so Rampage has to tag up. Wasatch has it back behind their own net. They skate to the near side. Roberts with the steal. Foster's going to pick it up. He's back into the zone. Quick move out front. Goaltender makes a save. Puck ends up in the far corner. Wasatch picks it up. They're going to skate up and out of the zone. Take the red line and dump it in. Fewer gets there. Sends it. Goes off the stick and stays in the corner on the near side. Battle for the puck down low. I can't see it. I don't know who has it. Now we'll go to a commercial break. And when we come back, puck comes up to the point on the near side. Wasatch sends a shot. Rahojian eats that one. Puck comes out to neutral. Wasatch wrangles it back in, sends it back into the Rampage zone. Ends up back down low. Comes up to Drexel. Drexel sends it up and out, looking for Banyan. Banyan wrangles it in. He's into the zone on the near side, centers the pass. It goes through and doesn't connect. Drexel skates it up top, sends it over for Bisley coming in. Bisley takes a shot, sails it up and over, and ends up on the far wall. And the puck gets sent into the bench and out of play. So with 5:22 left in period number 1, we'll get a face-off in the Wasatch zone. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Banyan, Bennett, and Bisley. Rampage win the draw up to Bennett. Quick shot deflects wide. Drexel's there to pick it up. Sends it back down low. Now Wasatch is going to turn it. They clear it. Send it to the far wall. Bisley chips it back out. Banyan backhands it, and Bisley picks it up. He sends it in hard, and I think it went out of play into the bench. So we'll get a face-off just outside the Rampage zone with 5:05 left in period number 1. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Judkins, Flanagan, Bennett, and Bisley. Rampage win the draw. Bennett sends it up, and then Flanagan's going to send it into the zone. Takes a weird bounce out of the corner and ends up almost right in front of the Wasatch net. Judkins driving in. He's going to pick it up down low in the corner, drops it for Sarver. Sarver up to Bennett. Bennett feeds it in. It deflects wide of the net. Sarver goes in after it back behind the net. Sarver feeds it up to Fewer. I'm sorry, that's Espirito. Back to Sarver, over to Bennett. Bennett's going to dump it into the zone. Flanagan's in on the forecheck. Wasatch changes directions, brings it to the near side, up and out of the zone. They take the red line. Again, takes a weird bounce off the glass. It's going to bounce to the far wall. Comes back to Flanagan. Flanagan takes the red line. He's going to chip it in and go for a change. Wasatch picks it up behind their own net. Rampage in the middle of the change. Wasatch trying to come back on the near side. Held up in neutral ice. And now Wasatch is into the zone. Quick shot deflected wide of the net by Holmes. Up to the near side wall. Wasatch at the point. And now Foster coming back the other way, out of the zone with it, gets held up just at neutral ice on the near wall. And now it gets turned and flipped into the Wasatch zone. I believe that's going to be icing. So we get a whistle for icing, and the faceoff will be back in the Rampage zone with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in period number 1. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Rahosian, Whitted, Butler, and White. Wasatch wins the draw. Quick shot, body's in the way. Roberts picks it up, skates it to the far wall, chips it up and out of the zone. Wasatch sends it across to the near side. It goes back into the Wasatch zone. Then back again to the far side. Wasatch coming through neutral ice. They take the red line. They're going to dump it in. Holmes holds it up, leaves it for Butler. Butler tries to send it up the near wall. Stuck in the corner. Comes up the near side wall. Rahojian turns and backhands it out of the zone. A little back and forth on neutral ice. Wasatch sends it across to the far side. They send it through, goes off a stick and on net. Holmes is going to turn inside, leave it for White. White picks it up and skates to the near side. Out to neutral ice, across the red line. White to the far side into the Wasatch zone. Attempts to center. It goes off of a boot, takes a weird bounce, and now it's going to come up and out. Bisley sends it down the wall. White's going to turn and dump it. Drexel goes in down low after it. Banyan applying pressure in the far corner, and Wasatch sends it up the far wall, but not out. Judkins manages to hold the blue line. Puck bouncing around, and now Wasatch is going to clear it. Bisley comes back, picks it up in his own zone, sends it up the wall, goes off a Drexel stick and into the zone. Judkins applying pressure on the forecheck. Wasatch sends it up the near side wall. Takes a weird bounce and comes out for Bennett. It bounces out to neutral ice. Everybody has to tag up. Bennett turns, sends it back in. Rampage have to tag up. They do so. Server applying pressure on the forecheck. Wasatch sends it up the near side wall. They're going to chip it into the Rampage zone and go for a change. Fewer comes back into his own zone to pick it up. Skates to the far side. Fewer feeds it up to Flanagan. Flanagan turns. He's into the zone on the far side. Flanagan skates outside, centers the pass. Shot taken. I believe the goaltender made a save. It ends up on the near wall. Puck comes up and out, and Fewer has to come back and pick it up. Sends it across to Esperito on the near side. Up the wall for Sarver. Off of his stick into the zone. Flanagan's going to give chase on the near side. Puck comes up, and it is going to just eke out of the zone. Butler sends it across to Esperito for Dormer. Dormer deflects it off his stick into the Wasatch zone. Wasatch picks it up. They send it up and out and down, and that is icing. So it's 1 minute and 15 seconds left in period number one. We'll get a face-off in the Wasatch zone. On the ice, we've got Whittingham, Freitas, Dormer, Butler, and White. Yeah. Rampage win the draw up to White at the point. He sends it back down the near side wall. Whittingham feeds it to the far wall for Freitas. Freitas turns it back around for Whittingham. Whittingham over to Dormer. Dormer's back behind the net. Tries to wrap around. Can't get his stick on it. Wasatch sends it back to the far side. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Wasatch is going to get there first. White is back in the zone. Freitas pokes it into the corner. Up the wall on the far side. Off the wall. Didn't get wrangled in, and Wasatch is going to turn and send it in the near side corner. 38 seconds left in the period. Shot goes up and over and ends up on the far wall. Freitas tries to tie things up on the far wall. Dormer getting in there as well to help out. And now White's going to turn and just fire it, and it goes off of the Wasatch stick, so play will continue. Rampage getting a change. Wasatch sends it up the near side wall. Down low, shot goes wide of the net. It's going to end up on the far wall. Roberts gets there. He's going to skate with it, feeds it up to Judkins. Judkins coming through with a little bit of steam and gets ridden just off the puck, and now it's going to fire up. Rahojian sends it back in hard. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and time expires on period number one. Series score after one is 2-0 in favor of your Colorado Rampage. And we did notice at the beginning of this game, it looks like they're going to run 17-minute periods, which means they will run until about halfway through the second, and then we'll get an ice cut, which is my least favorite format of how these games go. right, here we go. Getting ready to start period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Butler, Freitas, Whittingham, Dormer, and White. And, of course, Mr. Liam Holmes in between the pipes. Absolutely. And I wouldn't want to see it.
No, it ain't pretty.
I won't let that happen.
I'm a klutz.
Me too.
I don't fall in a pretty way.
Does anybody, though?
No.
Puck back into the Rampage zone. It's going to go behind the net. Butler gets there. He's got a man on. The puck gets tied up down low. Battle for the puck. Woo. I concur. I'm not going to say what I saw, and we are now going to get a penalty.
Oh my.
So with 16:37 left in period number 2, we get our first penalty of the game. Rampage are going to be on the power play for the next 2 minutes. And to be totally and completely fair, we got away with one right before that. Out on the ice to get us started on the power play this first time, we've got Sarver, Whitted, Drexel, Flanagan, and Butler. Tied up on the draw, comes up to Flanagan. Flanagan over to Butler. Butler feeds it down low for Whitted. Whitted skates up the wall, turns, feeds it down low for Sarver. Sarver up to Butler, goes through, and it's going to go the distance. And somebody is skinning a cat on the bench. That's okay. Rampage have the puck coming back up the near side. They're through neutral ice. Whitted into the zone, feeds it over to Sarver. Sarver takes a shot, goes up and over. Flanagan coming down the wall. He's down low in the corner. Feeds it back for Drexel. Drexel skates it to the far side. He's going to get set up. Drexel to Butler. Butler down to Flanagan. Flanagan feeds it over to Sarver. Sarver takes a shot. Actually doesn't get a lot on it, but the goaltender made a play for the shot that he thought was going to be. And it bounces ever so gently up and over. Johnny Two Guns gets on the board. 15:56 left in period number 2. Rampage go up by a score of 3-0. You're doing good, Sonia. Out on the ice, we've got Judkins, Flanagan, Sarver, Esperito, and Fewer. Rampage win the draw. Esperito takes to the far wall, gets stuck on the wall, sends it up, and then Wasatch picks it up in their own zone down low, sends it up the near side. Wasatch is going to turn with it. They're outside the zone, cross the red line, send it to the far side, and they are offside. 15:40 left in period number 2. We're going to face off outside Rampage zone. And out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Rahosian, Foster, Esperito, and Fewer. Into the Rampage zone, and then Roberts picks it up, gets it out. Wasatch dumps it back in. Foster on the near side wall, unable to clear. Puck bounces down low, centering pass. Holmes has to make a nice save. Fewer comes to the near side. Turns with it off the wall, feeds it up the wall, and Foster has it. He's going to skate it up and out. He's into the Wasatch zone on the far side. Skates it down into the corner. Tied up down low. Roberts picks it up, sends it over to Bisley. Bisley takes a shot up high. Goes in the net. Oh, Bisley sneaks one in just inside the post on the near side. So with 15:04 left in period number 2, Rampage go up by a score of 4-0. Special thanks again to our expert camera crew. We have the best the best team that our budget can afford here at Empty Pockets Hockey. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Dormer, Freitas, Bisley, and Bennett. And we are going to get a change of goaltender for the Wasatch Renegades. Rampage win the draw. It's Bennett over to Bisley. Bisley up the wall on the far side. It's into the zone. Wasatch gets back, sends it up the wall on the near side. Comes up and out of the zone. Dormer's going to get there. Changes it for Bennett. Bennett to Freitas. Freitas is in the zone. Takes a quick shot. Goaltender turns it aside. Whittingham sends it back down low. Freitas tries to send it out front. Wasatch has it up to the point. Butler holds it at the point. Dormer down to Freitas, up to Whittingham. Whittingham in the slot, right out front. A beautiful little passing play by the Rampage boys, and Whittingham gets on the board, making the score 5-0 with 14:35 left in period number 2. It's all right. They haven't even lined up for the next. Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. Out on the ice. Might have isn't forgotten. Out on the ice, we've got Banyan, Whitted, Drexel, Butler, and White. Wasatch wins the draw. They're going to send it to the far side, dump it into the Rampage zone on net. Holmes leaves it for White. White sends it up the board to the near side. Tied up on the near side boards. Off the wall, and it comes out to Drexel. Drexel turns with it, feeds it to Whitted. Whitted comes through, tries to feed it through. Rampage are offside. .14 left in period number 2. We're going to face off outside the Wasatch zone. On the ice, Drexel, Whitted, Banyan, Espirito, and Fewer. Wasatch wins the draw. They skate it to the far side, loses the handle momentarily, sends it back to the near side. Up and off the stick and into the Rampage zone, and that is icing. So we get a whistle. Face-off will be back in the Wasatch zone with 14:03 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Sarver, Judkins, Fewer, and Espirito. Tied up on the draw, in the pile. Sarver's got it tied up on the near side wall. Sends it back down into the corner. Flanagan goes in after it, down low. Judkins comes in. He picks it up out of the pile. Up to Fewer, who's going to drive it down the wall on the near side. Fewer feeds it down low for Flanagan. Flanagan makes a move back behind the net. He's got players on. Puck comes out to the far side, and Wasatch turns unable to clear. Espirito holds, sends it in, goes off the stick, and ends up in the near side corner. Wasatch sends it across to the far side. Up the wall and not out. Judkins holds it in, and he's going to chase it down low. Wasatch sends it to the near side. Not out. Fewer holding it at the blue line, and Sarver's going to dump it low. Puck rims around to just behind the net on the far side. Takes a bounce back this way, and Roberts gets in there. Sends it to the far side. Wasatch picks it up. They send it off the boards, up and out of the zone. Bisley over to Bennett on the near side, up to Roberts. He turns with it, feeds it through. Nice look for Rahojan. Just couldn't quite wrangle it in on his way down. Foster picks it up in the corner, tries to backhand it. Puck comes across the crease. Wasatch sends it up in the distance, and this will be icing. So 12:44 left in period number 2. We're going to face off in the Wasatch zone. And I'm not entirely sure what that horn was. Oh. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahojan, Bisley, and Bennett. Tied up on the draw, and then a turn and fired wide of the net. Puck goes up and out on the far side. And Rahojan just checked a player into the Rampage bench, which we see people try that all the time, and it's never happened. No, the net had come off. He actually blew the whistle. He just didn't. Yeah, I know. He needs to practice blowing it, apparently. I know. It was very distracting. I've seen players try to do that many times, but I don't know if I've ever actually seen it. 12:25 left in period number 2. We're going to face off in the Wasatch zone. Out on the ice, we've got Freitas, Whittingham, Dormer, White, and Butler. Rampage win the draw. Dormer turns. He takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Puck comes to the near side wall. Wasatch clears it out. Whittingham back to White. White sauces it up, looking for Dormer. Off the wall. Freitas wrangles it in. Over to Whittingham. Off the skate. It's going to end up in the far corner. Puck down low. Freitas gets in there. Wasatch sends the puck up and out in the distance, and it's going to be on net, so Holmes is going to turn to the side. White picks it up, sends it up the wall. Held up on the way in. Dormer starts to come back the other way. Now Wasatch turns, sends it to the far side into the Rampage zone. Butler ties things up. He takes the puck away, sends it up for Freitas. Freitas makes a move. He's in the Wasatch zone. Wrangles the puck back in and then centers the pass. Takes an awkward fall into the boards. And gets up okay. He looks like he's a little sore, but it could have been, yeah. Whitted sends it up and out of the zone. Wasatch turns around, fires it into the netting. Faceoff will be outside the Rampage zone. Looks like they're going to take it to the center dot. 11:20 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Banyan, Whitted, Drexel, Espirito, and Fewer. Banyan picks up the puck, skates it to the far side. He's going to chip it into the zone. Drexel gives chase down low. Wasatch gets there first, turns and skates the far wall. Wasatch sends it over to the near side, up and out. Quick poke check, a little back and forth. It's into the Rampage zone. Espirito sends it up and out. Drexel tries to wrangle it back in. Puck bouncing around, back and forth. Fewer has it. He skates into the zone. Fewer feeds it to the far side. It's going to go into the corner. Whitted gets there. Battles down low. Gets kind of ridden down to the ice and still has the puck. Sends it up the wall on the far side. Espirito pinching in. Takes a shot, goes wide of the net, ends up on the near side. Fewer comes in. He's going to send it down low. And now the puck bounces up and out. Wasatch sends it across to the far side. It's into the Rampage zone. Espirito makes a move in the corner. Drexel sends it around hard. Puck comes up the wall and out of the zone. Wasatch has it back. They have to wrangle it in. Quick move at neutral ice into the Rampage zone. Wasatch takes a shot. Holmes turns to the side. Drexel pulls it out of the air and sends it the distance. And I think we are going to get a whistle for icing. 10:06 left in period number 2. Face-off will be in the Rampage zone. Change of cast and crew. We've got Judkins, Sarber, Flanagan, Bennett, and Bisley. Puck gets poked to the far wall, stays in the zone, still stuck on the wall on the far side. Over to the near side now. Tied up on the near side wall, comes up and out. Wasatch has it. They're going to send it across the far side. Sent up to the near side wall, ends up in the Rampage zone. Wasatch gets there, makes a move, and is down low in the corner. Puck is in the near side corner. It looks like Flanagan picks it up, sends it out, looking for Sarber. Sarber has to wrangle it in, sends it, fans on it on the way into the zone. Now Wasatch is coming back the other way. Bisley gets back, loses the handle. Wasatch makes a quick pass, and Holmes with another quick save. Puck comes up and now out. Sarver wrangles it in. He skates across the red line. He's in the Wasatch zone, drops it for Flanagan. Flanagan takes a shot. Puck comes up and not out. Butler holds it in the zone. Goes to the far wall. Roberts gets in there. He dumps it down low. Puck comes out front. Roberts with the shot, and then the puck ends up on the near side wall. Rahojan sends the puck back into the corner. Foster's in there to do battle. Rahojan sends it up to White. White across to Butler. Butler takes a shot, goes up and over, and ends up the near wall. Rahojan sends it down low. Foster goes after it, tries to tie it up down low as well. Puck up the near side wall, and Rahojan turns it and sends it back into the corner. Back up to Rahojan, makes a move down the wall, back behind, and a wraparound. Oh, looking up front, didn't quite connect. Wasatch makes a move. They're out of the zone, across the red line. They're going to dump it into the Rampage zone. White comes back for it. White sends it up, looking for Roberts. It's just outside the reach, and that's going to be icing. It was a good look. And with 8:06 left in period number 2, we will go to an ice cut, I believe. It does look like they are stopping things, and they're going to let Wasatch exit first since the teams have to cross paths on their way out. So when we come back, Rampage boys currently up by a score of 5-0, and that's 5 goals to 5 different players, which is always pretty fun to see. I'll go on mute for the next little bit and come back in about 10 minutes. All right, everybody, welcome back. Freshly cut ice. We've got 8:06 left in period number 2. Rampage currently up by a score of 5-0. And we will get going for the second half of the second period. I You were standing there with my. Oh, maybe you were.
Marie,
Anyway.
you don't sit up here. He has a microphone. He has a microphone, Marie.
All right. Out on the ice to get us started for the second half of this second period. We've got Dormer, Freitas, Whittingham, White, and Butler, and Liam Holmes in net. Faceoff will be in the Rampage zone as we ended on an icing just before the break. Right up on the draw, goes down low. Butler picks it up, tries to change direction, still back behind the net. Wasatch sends it to the far wall. Up and out of the zone, Whittingham to Freitas. Freitas wrangles it in. He's in the zone with it. Makes a quick move down in the corner. Whittingham sends it back down low. Freitas turns off the wall, makes a move out front, takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Puck ends up in the near side corner. Comes up. Wasatch is going to skate it up and out. They're across the red line. They're into the Rampage zone on the far side. Butler after it in the corner, feeds it up the wall. Wasatch sends it back down low. White turns with it, feeds it up to Whittingham. Whittingham across for Dormer. Dormer's into the zone, feeds it down the wall on the near side. He's going to give chase into the corner. Wasatch turns with it, sends it up and out of the zone. It goes to the far side. It gets poked into the Rampage zone. White's going to have to chase it down. Picks it up behind his own net. Sends a stretch pass up off of Drexel's stick and into the zone. Wasatch has it down low in their zone. Up to, off the wall, out to neutral ice. Wasatch is into the Rampage zone. Fed out front, shot taken, and Holmes got a piece. It ends up in the near side. Bennett feeds it to the far wall. A little back and forth on the wall, back into the corner, up to Drexel. Drexel turns with it, feeds it over to Whitted. Whitted's into the zone on the near side. Quick shot from up top. Goaltender turns aside, and Banyan takes a shot. The net is off, and we now get a whistle. That guy's whistle needs a little more whistle. It's not very loud. Yep. Yep. I want to yell at it and sound off. 6:33 left in period number 2. What a good face-off in the Wasatch zone. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Judkins, Server, Fewer, and Espirito. Rampage win the draw up to the point. He comes out of the zone. Espirito has to come back for it. Turns and sends it up the wall. Tied up on the wall, and now gets sent back into the Rampage zone. Espirito chases it into the corner, gets his stick stuck in the ditch that is the by the Zamboni door. Fed right out front. Holmes with a nice save, and now he's going to cover it up. And a little bit later, we get a whistle. Nice point-blank save by Liam Holmes. Out on the ice, we get Butler, Roberts, White, Rahojian, and Foster. Wasatch picks it up. Puck doesn't quite come through. Ends up in the far corner. Back behind the net. White picks it up. Sends it up off the wall. Up and out of the zone. Wasatch has it back. They send it across to the far side. Up the wall. Off the wall. Butler over to White. White makes a move. He's into the zone. White takes a shot and hit White with the candlestick in the observatory. Gets on the board, making the score 6-0 with a time of 5:46 left in period number 2. It's a team effort. Out on the ice, we've got Bennett, Bisley, Freitas, Whittingham, and Dormer. Tied up on the draw, a little back and forth the neutral ice, and ends up in the Rampage zone. Bennett sends it up the wall on the near side, comes up to Freitas, he turns with it, sends it across, looking for Whittingham, goes off his stick into the Wasatch zone. Wasatch sends it back up and out, Bisley sends it in, but Rampage have to tag up. They do so. Wasatch has the puck, they send it up and out. Bennett sends it up off the wall, it's in neutral ice, Wasatch gets it back. Cross ice pass, and they're going to dump it in. Back behind the net. Bennett drives it into the corner and then up the wall for Whittingham. Whittingham over to Freitas. Freitas takes the red line. He makes a move. He's into the zone. Wasatch turns, fires it up and out. It comes back to Bisley. Bisley sends it over to Bennett. Bennett back to Bisley. Goes off of a boot, comes back to Bennett. Bennett picks it up, takes the red line. He's going to chuck it in on net. Goaltender drops it for his defenseman, and Wasatch makes a move to the inside. Sends it up. Bennett has it at neutral ice across to Fewer. Fewer's into the zone on the far side. Makes a quick move down the wall, and now Wasatch sends it up and out. Goes off of a Rampage stick. Whitted has to come back, wrangle it in. He's going to turn with it and skate it up the wall. Sends it up to Banyan. Banyan's into the zone, drops it to Drexel at the point. Drexel feeds it down low. Off the wall, Whitted takes a shot off the side of the net. Wasatch sends it up on the near side. It comes up and out, and it's going to go the distance, and we get a whistle for icing. 4 minutes and 12 seconds left in period number 2. Face-off in the Wasatch zone. On the ice, we've got Banyan, Drexel, Whitted, Espirito, and Fewer. Wasatch wins the draw, sends it up the far side, but not out. Fewer holds it at the point, keeps it in the zone, and now it's going to bounce up and out. Sent across to the near side, Wasatch turns and dumps it in the Rampage zone. Fewer goes after it in the far corner. Drexel gets in there as well. Puck still in the corner. Drexel makes a move, sends it up the wall. Whitted off the wall looking for Espirito. Espirito wrangles it in. Sends it hard in the Rampage zone. And that one is, they're going to call it icing. He was a little bit too farsies outside the red line. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Judkins, Flanagan, White, and Butler. Puck down low into the corner. White sends it around to the far side. Butler gets there, skates it up the wall, and then chips it up and out of the zone. Wasatch turns around, sends it back, and they have to tag up. White gets the puck behind his net, sends it up the near side wall. Up and out of the zone. Comes back to Flanagan, and then gets poked back into the Rampage zone. Back up to the point. Wasatch sends it down the wall. Puck ends up low in the corner. Wasatch sends it out front, bouncing around. Ends up down low, comes up the wall, not out of the zone. Wasatch sends it from the blue line, bodies in the way, shot taken. Holmes with a save. Judkins sends it, unable to clear, and now Sarver drives it out, and he's into the Wasatch zone with the puck. Sarver drives down low, back behind the net. Puck comes up the near side. Judkins is there waiting, and I can't really see what's going on, but Wasatch has the puck. They send it off the wall, through the neutral zone, into the Rampage zone. Down low, Bennett's going to pick it up, holds it in the corner. He turns around, makes a move, comes skating back out the other way. Puck not out of the zone. Wasatch sends it in from the point. Bisley knocks it down, sends it up, looking for Flanagan. Wasatch gets sticks in the way, and now they're going to chip it back in the Rampage zone. Bisley knocks it down, reverses direction for Bennett. Puck down low. Foster skates back with it, sends it up the wall on the far side. Comes out of the zone. Foster's going to wrangle it back in. He's into the Wasatch zone. Puck gets poked back behind the Wasatch net. Comes to the near side. Wasatch reverses direction, sends it off the wall on the far side. Up and out, and they're going to take the red line and dump it into the Rampage zone. Puck back behind the Rampage net now. Foster picks it up and out, and then Roberts is going to send it in hard from the red line. Puck Apparently it was icing. I thought he was on the red line when he sent it in. 1:36 left in period number 2. We'll get a face-off back in the Rampage zone. One thing I will say is they're calling the offsidesies and the icings pretty tight tonight. Seems to be on both sides of the puck. Out on the ice, we've got Dormer, Freitas, Whittingham, Espirito, and Fewer. Puck goes to the far side. Whittingham's going to pick it up. Sends a stretch pass across, sticks in the way. Espirito wrangles it back in. Gives it to Dormer. Dormer turns and sends it into the zone. Whittingham applying pressure on the forecheck. Wasatch loses the handle. Dormer puts a hit on, and the puck stuck in the corner. Whittingham goes in after it, ties things up. Dormer comes in to help out. Puck down low in the corner, still tied up. Still tied up. And now a word from our sponsor. Puck comes up and out. Wasatch has it. They're going to skate it up and out through neutral, and we're going to have a penalty coming to the Rampage. Rampage tag up, and we have a tripping penalty coming with 53 seconds left in period number 2. So with that, we'll have Rampage's first penalty kill of the night. And a little trouble with the door. Out on the ice to get a start on the PK, we've got Whittingham, Whitted, White, and Bennett. Wasatch wins the draw up to the point, across to the near side. Shot goes off a stick and wide. Goes to the far side. Whitted wrangles it in. He's going to turn, sends it across, looking for Whittingham. Whittingham pokes it into the Wasatch zone. They're going to drop it down low. Whittingham going for a change. Wasatch skates out from behind their net to the near side, through neutral ice, into the Rampage zone, pass across to the far wall. 25 seconds left in the period. Wasatch sends it down low on the near side. White gets in there, sends it up. Whitted pulls it out of the air, clears the zone, and he's going to send the puck deep and go for a change. Roberts is in on heavy on the forecheck, ties things up down low. Wasatch comes skating out with the puck. They're out of the zone. Send it over to the near side. Going to drive it down low. 2 seconds left in the period. 1 second left. And time expires on period number 2. So your score after 2 is 6-0 in favor of your Colorado Rampage. And when we come back, Rampage will still have 1 minute and 7 seconds left on the penalty kill. Coach having a talk to the boys. All right, out on the ice to get us started in period number 3 on the penalty kill. We've got Banyan, Sarver, Bennett, and Bisley to get us going. As I mentioned before, 1 minute and 7 seconds left on the PK. Puck ends up back in the Wasatch zone. Sarver on the forecheck. Wasatch back behind their net. They're going to regroup. Up and out of their zone. Gets poked up into the bench and out of play, and the face-off will be just outside the Rampage zone. .51 seconds left on the PK, 16:43 in the game. Same throughout as before. Wasatch skates the puck back into their zone to regroup. Sarver in the hunt on the forecheck. Wasatch sends it up the far wall. They're going to dump it into the Rampage zone, rims around to the near side. Puck down low in the corner. Bisley in there trying to tie things up. Goes to the far side. Bennett gets in there to mix things up down low. Keep the puck tied up. 20 seconds left on the penalty kill. Banyan puts a body on and ties things up in the corner. Puck comes up the wall on the far side, up to the blue line, across to the near side. Shot goes wide and ends up on the far wall. Down low. Round to the near side boards and up to the point to Wasatch. They send it back down the wall. Cross to the far side point, top of the circle. Shot goes up and over and ends up on the near side wall. Comes out of the zone. Rampage are back at 5. Sarver given chase in. Or I'm sorry, that was Dormer giving chase into the zone. Gets tripped up on a player. No harm, no foul. Shot goes up and over, ends up down low in the corner. Dormer's going to pick it up in his zone. Turns, sends it across to Friedis on the far side. Friedis makes a move off the wall. He's into the zone, drops it for Whittingham. Whittingham chips it, bounces towards the net, and then ends up on the far wall. Comes up but not out. Dormer sends it down low back behind the Wasatch net. Wasatch with the puck on the far side. They send it up the wall. They're going to skate out of the zone, pass across to the near side. Doesn't connect. That should be icing. And indeed it is. 15:08 left in period number 3. Face up in the Wasatch zone. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Rahosian, Foster, Fewer, and Butler. Tied up on the draw. Puck comes up to the point. Fewer sends it back down low. Puck into the corner. It's going to bounce out front. Wasatch picks it up. It's going to pass across. Goes off a stick. It's going to bounce into the Rampage zone. Holmes plays it to the near, actually up into the netting and out of play. Nice job by Liam Holmes to play that puck and keep it away from the oncoming player. 14:50 left in period number 3. Face off in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Rahosian, Foster, Fewer, and Espirito. Puck bounces up and out and across. Roberts clears it out. It goes through the pile into the Wasatch zone. Rahosian giving chase. Puck down low in the corner on the far side. Wasatch makes a move. They send it over to the near side and out to neutral ice. They dump it into the Rampage zone in the near corner. Bennett sends it around the boards on the far side, but not out. Wasatch sends it down the boards on the far side up to the blue line and to the near side point. Shot taken. Body's in the way. We've got a hand in the air. And I think we have a penalty coming to the Rampage for a cross-check, it appears. Looks like that one's going to go to Espirito. So with 14:21 left in the game, Rampage will be back on the PK out on the ice to get us started. We've got Bisley, Bennett, Whittingham, and Whitted. Tied up on the draw. It's going to come up to the player at the point. Wasatch sends it down the wall. Back up to the point. Back down the wall. Down low into the corner. Up the wall on the near side. Pass across to the far side, up to the blue line. Body's in the way. Whitted gets on the puck and clears it out. Gets tripped up in the process, and he's going to go for a change. Wasatch skates it back into their own zone. Whittingham just staying in the area. Wasatch regroups, sends it over the near side. They're through neutral. Make a move with the blue line. I think they were offside, but there was no linesman on the line. Comes up and out. Wasatch has to wrangle it in and tag up. Banyan on the hunt. Wasatch regroups. They're going to skate back into their own zone to the far side. They dump it into the zone. It's going to rim around the boards to the near side. Up to the point, but not out. Server being a pest up in the point. Puck goes down back behind the net. Goes to the far side corner. Bisley gets in there to tie things up. Up the far wall. Wasatch still holding. Got it on the far wall. Banyan comes in and mixes things up, and the puck gets dumped to the near side. Server, it ends up going off the side of the net, and then Bisley turns, fires it up and out to neutral ice. Wasatch has to tag up. Johnny in on the forecheck, keeps the puck down low in the Wasatch zone. Wasatch turns with it, and they're into the Rampage zone offside. 12:42 left in the game and 22 seconds on the penalty kill. Puck is going to come outside the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Judkins, Fewer, and White to take over in the last 22 seconds of penalty kill time.
Yeah.
Rampage win the draw. White's going to turn and just fire at the distance. Wasatch skates from behind their net to the far side. Doesn't connect. It comes through, and that is going to be icing. 6 seconds left on the penalty kill. Faceoff's going to go back to the Wasatch zone with 12:26. It never connected in the middle here. The pass that they tried to make at center ice. We do, but it was their icing. Yeah. We're allowed to ice it, but they're still not. Out on the ice, we've got, I can't hardly see, Freitas and Drexel with Fewer and White. Puck tied up down low, and Rampage are back at 5. Dormer joining in the mix now. Up to Fewer at the point. Fewer takes a shot. Goaltender has it and is going to hang on. The ref's not really getting in the habit of putting their hands up like they're supposed to in between plays. Puck down low. Drexel gets in there, sends it to the far side. Dormer's going to go after it behind the net. Sends it out front, but nobody's home. Wasatch is going to pick up the puck. They turn, send it to the near side wall. Off the wall, out of the zone. And it gets poke checked on the way in, and they said it was good, but they were offside by a mile. Back to Dormer coming in. He's going to kick it out to the far side. Roberts tries to take a shot, doesn't get much on it. Goalie makes a save, and Wasatch coming back out the other way. Dormer took a spill in that far corner, and he's a little slow to get up. Wasatch is going to, they try to dump it in. It goes off the linesman and bounces back out. In on the near side. Puck goes down low. Bisley gets there. He turns with it. Skates to the near side, chips it up, it goes into the netting and out of play. Face off in the Rampage zone. 11:19 left in period number 3. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Rahosian, Bennett, and Bisley, and Foster. Tied up on the draw. Quick shot goes off a body, up and into the netting and out of play. Puck ends up down low. Bisley sends it around to the far side. Bennett wrangles it in, sends it up to Rahosian. Rahosian's out of the zone. He's across the red line. He's into Wasatch territory. Down low, back behind the net. Puck gets tied up down low. Roberts comes in, gets a stick on it, and now a battle for the puck in the area that I can't see. Wasatch sends it around to the far side. Up and out of the zone. It gets knocked down. Wasatch picks it up and dumps it into the Rampage zone. Takes a weird bounce. It goes on net. Holmes has to turn it inside. Puck bounces out front. Foster wrangles it back in. He skates with it. And he's going to chip it into the Wasatch zone. Play will continue. Puck to the far wall. Up and not out. Whitted dumps it back down low. It's going to rim around to the near side. Whittingham gets there. He turns it, sends it back down low. Battle for the puck back behind the net. Wasatch sends it up. They're going to skate out. They dump it in. Butler picks it up, skates it to the far side. Takes the far wall. He's up and just out of the zone. Delivers a reverse check and puck bouncing around back and forth. Wasatch back into the Rampage zone. A steal by White. It comes up and out. And then Sarver gets a stick on it. Skates it to the far side. He's into the zone. To Whitted, back to Sarver. To Whitted. And couldn't get the shot off. Up to Banyan. Back to Whitted. Whitted down to Sarver. Puck on the near side wall. And we have a stoppage. Something that happened down in the corner that I couldn't see. But it appears that we have a penalty coming to Wasatch. So with 9:38 left in period number 3.
They did something to Sarver.
.938 left in period number 3. Rampage are going to be on the power play. Out on the ice, we've got Freitas, Banyan, Whittingham, Bennett, and Dormer. Up the wall on the near side. Bennett drives it down, sends it up to Freitas. Freitas feeds it down, looking for Whittingham. Whittingham back up the boards to Freitas. Up to Bennett. Bennett back to Freitas. Freitas takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. It ends up in the far wall. Dormer drives down real low, sends it up to the point, and it comes through, and it's going to go all the way down. Bennett has to rush back for it, as he's got a player on. He turns and regroups behind his net, comes skating out from behind, up to Dormer. Dormer across off the boards for Freitas. Freitas wrangles it in. He's into the zone, makes a quick move. Puck back behind the net. Dormer's in there. Whittingham comes in to help out. Puck tied up down low. Over to the near side, comes up and out, and Bennett has to get there. He's got a player on. He turns to the near side wall. He turns, he skates, he's into Wasatch territory. Bennett feeds it off the wall to Freitas. Freitas makes a quick move, takes a shot, deflects up and into the far corner. Freitas gets there, down low in the corner. He's got things tied up. Banyan feeds it up to Flanagan, back to Banyan. Blows a tire. Yeah, we've got a lot of players blowing tires out there. Whitted has it down low, feeds it up to Butler. Butler takes a shot from the blue line. The goaltender has it and is going to hang on. So with 8:12 left in the period and 35 seconds left on the power play, we'll have the face-off in the Wasatch zone. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Butler, Flanagan. Puck way up in the air. It bounces down. Wasatch is going to send it in the Rampage zone. Flanagan has to come back for it. He makes a move to the far side. Flanagan turns, tries to feed it across. Body's in the way, so Butler's going to have to come back and pick it up. Just 15 seconds left on the power play. Butler feeds it up the near side for Drexel. Drexel skates through, chips it into the zone. Wasatch gets a stick on it, but it's held in the zone. Sarver drives it down low. He's going to take it in the corner, feeds it up to Drexel. Drexel up to Butler. Butler takes a shot from up top. Goaltender has it in his glove. And Wasatch is back in full strength. 7:34 left in period number 3. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Judkins, Rahosian, Fewer, and Espirito. Tied up on the draw. It's anybody's puck. But Rampage come up with it. Espirito takes a shot, sails up and over, and ends up on the far wall. Puck bounces up in the air, and now Wasatch has it out of the zone. They sauce it across to the near side. Quick poke check by Roberts. A little back and forth at neutral. And off the wall, and Roberts turns with it. He sends it off the wall into the zone. And it looks like they're going to send one from each team off the ice. little extracurricular after the or behind the play. 7:07 left in period number 3. I believe we'll stay at 5. Faceoff will be outside the Wasatch zone. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Foster, Banyan, Bisley, and Bennett. Into the Wasatch zone now. Wasatch sends it across to the far side. Up and off of Bisley's stick into the zone. Play will continue. Bisley comes back for it, ties things up down low, sends it up the near side. Puck comes up to the point, but not out. Wasatch sends it down low, goes to the far side. Puck tied up down low. Fed out front. Back behind the Rampage net now. Foster sends it up the near side. Whittingham backhands it up and out of the zone. A little back and forth at neutral ice. It's going to come back to Bennett on the far side. He takes the red line, chips it in. It's down low, and Rampage going for a change. Wasatch on the near side. They send it in hard into the far side. White in the corner. He's got a man on. Changes directions. Comes to Whitted. Whitted sends it to Drexel. Drexel's up and out of the zone. Makes a quick move. He's in. Gets a little tripped up on his way in. Still manages to get there and keep the puck down low. Back to Freitas. Drexel takes a shot. And Wasatch now coming back the other way. Wasatch into the Rampage zone. Quick behind the back drop. And then Butler lifts the stick and the puck ends up in the corner. Battle for the puck. Wasatch still has it. Skate to the near side. They turn. Bodies in the way. Wasatch with it down low. Try to feed it out front. Butler picks it up. Tries to feed it up. Skates in the way, and now the puck ends up back down low. Skated to the far side. Tied up down low. White and Whitted are in there. White sends it up the boards on the far side. Wasatch dumps it hard back down the other way. Centering the pass out front. White's going to pick it up. Wasatch going for a change. Rampage going for a change. White takes the red line. He's going to dump it in hard. Puck rims around to the far side. Flanagan gets there. He holds up on the far wall. Feeds it back down low. Judkins is in there. Feeds it back down. Still in the zone. Now it's going to come out to Fewer, who drops it for Bennett. Bennett makes a move to the near side. Hooks it into the zone. Comes up to Flanagan at the point. He's going to drive it in down low. Takes a shot. Goes up and over. I think the goalie got a piece of it. And then Wasatch turns and sends it the distance, and we get a whistle for icing. 4:43 left in period number 3. Face off in the Wasatch zone. On the ice, we're going to have Roberts, Rahosian, Foster, Bennett, and Fewer. Put down into the corner. Wasatch is going to turn with it. Rampage keep it tied up. Wasatch feeds it over to the near side. And then reverses direction back to the far side. Wasatch up and out. Puck bouncing like crazy. Bennett's going to have to come back into his own zone and wrangle it in. He does so. Sends it over to Fewer. And Wasatch with the steal down low. Everything's tied up back behind the Rampage net. Wasatch with the puck. Centering pass. And that one's going to go in. So with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left, Wasatch gets on the board for the first time this game. Out on the ice, we've got Banyan, Whittingham, Whitted, Bisley, and Butler. 3 B's and 2 W's. Comes back to Butler. Butler's going to chip it in off the glass into the zone. Wasatch back behind the net. They send it up the near side boards. Puck comes out to neutral ice. Whittingham turns around with it. Makes a move. He's back into the zone. Whittingham splits the difference, and he's just going to put that one in the back of the net. So with 3:51, Rampage get another one on the board. To Jack Whittingham. And that one was all Whittingham all the time.
You got her on that.
So with 3:51 left in the game, Rampage go up 7-1. And I believe, unless I'm mistaken, that's 7 goals to 7 different players in the Rampage team tonight. Which is...
No, wait, Anna.
Did Jack have 2? Okay, stand correct.
I think.
Maybe. There have been so many of them that I'm not sure who scored what. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Judkins, Freitas, Butler, and Bisley. Shot deflects up and over and ends up on the far wall. Wasatch tries to send it back in towards the goaltender and ends up in the corner. Drexel picks it up. Feeds it up for Freitas. Freitas is in his zone. Back to Drexel. Drexel had to stretch to get there. Just couldn't quite wrangle in the puck. It ends up back behind the net. It's a nice look, though. Up to Butler at the point. Makes a quick move, and the puck comes out to neutral ice. Wasatch is into the Rampage zone. Down low in the corner on the near side. Just over 3 minutes left in the game. Puck up to the point. Fed across to the far side. And shot goes in. Holmes turns to the side and ends up in the far corner. Back up top. Wasatch sends it, and Holmes has it in his glove. He's going to hang on. 2:54 left in period number 3. We're going to face off the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Foster, Flanagan, Espirito, and Fewer. Quick shot off the draw from the slot. And with 2:51, Wasatch scores their second goal tonight. They can score 7-2. Out on the ice, we've got Rahojan, Roberts, Banyan, Bennett, and Bisley. Wasatch wins the draw, takes to the near side, dumps it in the Rampage zone. Holmes turns it aside for Bennett. Bennett sends it up the far wall. Banyan chips it up to Roberts. Comes back to Roberts, who's going to fight it into the zone. It comes out and then gets sent back in. Rampage has to tag up. Wasatch off the near side wall. Off the wall. And now into the Rampage zone. Centering pass is going to come across to the near side. Bouncing around. Roberts clears the zone with it. Puck tied up on the near side wall. I'm sorry, it comes back down to the Rampage zone. Bisley over to Bennett. Bennett up for Rahojan. Rahojan off the boards. He's going to go for a change. Play will continue. Just over 2 minutes left of the game. Wasatch sends it up. Quick steal. Butler back to Whittingham. He's into the zone. Skates in. Feeds it down low. Goes off the stick up into the netting and out of play. 1:52 left in the game. Face off in the Wasatch zone. On the ice, we've got Whittingham, Whitted, Freitas, Butler, and White. Puck goes up into the netting and out of play, so we get one more, just like before. Tied up on the draw, comes to the near wall. Whitted turns with it, feeds it across for Whittingham. Just loses the handle, has to wrangle it back in, and backhands it back in, or behind the net. Freitas is doing battle down low. Whitted's in the hunt. Comes out to a Wasatch player, up the wall, and it's held in the zone momentarily. Now comes out, Whitted feeds it back into the corner. Whittingham chases it behind the net. He's going to skate it to the near side. Feeds it up to White. White down low for Freitas. Didn't get much on the shot. It was just wide. And takes a weird bounce. It's into the Rampage zone, but play will continue. White has to come back for it. Poke down low in the corner. 1 minute remaining in the game. White feeds it up to Flanagan. Flanagan clears the zone with it. Wasatch turns and dumps it into the zone, and I think we get a whistle for icing. It was a little late, which is why I'm confused. But 51 seconds of the game, we'll get a face-off back in the Wasatch zone. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Judkins, Drexel, Esperito, and Ewer. Rampage won the drop to Esperito, takes a shot, goes wide of the net, ends up on the far wall. Ewer drives it down, pinching in, keeps it low, and sends it back behind the Wasatch net. Wasatch picks it up, changes direction. They make a move to the near side. They're out to neutral ice, into the Rampage zone. Quick poke check, and it's on the near side wall. Gets sent down low. Esperito rims it around the boards looking for Führer. Führer gets there, makes a move off the wall, but it comes to a Wasatch player. Quick turnaround, fed, and it homes with the save. It's going to bounce to the near side corner. Drexel turns and pops it out of the zone. Wasatch sends it off the wall. Führer changes direction, and then Flanagan turns and fires it into the Wasatch zone. 3 seconds left in the game. 2, 1, and that will do it. And your score after 3 is 7-2 in favor of your Colorado Rampage. Pretty dominating performance tonight, and a couple of unfortunate late game goals going the other way. Strong game by the boys tonight, and let's hope that they can carry some of that momentum into the rest of the weekend. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you back here tomorrow. I'm going to actually pull up my schedule so I can say this right. Give me a minute. Tomorrow at 1:30 Colorado time for a game versus Shattuck St. Mary's.